Okay, December 3rd. Let's take a look at some BTC levels, some potential tradable levels for today. Bitcoin and some BSV today as well. We'll look at some S&P 500 chart today as well. But just like in yesterday's video, I talked about 3 potential scenarios. We did end up spending pretty much the entire day going sideways with Bitcoin. The entire day was basically, it started, where did it start? Basically, I mean, it was this section right here. I mean, we literally sideways, didn't take out any lows at all. And here we are finally about to take out some new lows here. But yeah, basically sideways. We never really made it up enough to, get scenario 1 here or come down far enough to get 2 or 3. Looks like we may get that opportunity here today. I'm keeping an eye on the S&P 500 as well. Something to take note of is we did spend so much time going sideways that more than likely we got a lot more stops building up below these lows. So the more stops that have built up below these lows, then potentially the harder to push down when it does finally hit it. But I do think the same scenarios that were in play potentially yesterday are still a potential for today. I think the first area of support is going to be this 55,500 area, and then down below, below 54,000 to retest this spot down here. So very similar to yesterday, if not almost the same, other than I may be a little bit more cautious on the break of this spot, just because we spent so much time going sideways, gathering people that were trying to long the market, looking for it to go higher. So more than likely they'll get stopped out here shortly. Now the S&P 500, take a quick look at that. I would like to see, as crypto comes down to that 55.5 area, I'd probably like to see the S&P 500 here in the lower range, yesterday's lower range, and maybe we get a bounce later on in the day. What I wouldn't want to see is, if the S&P was up in the highs and crypto was coming down, because once the S&P started rolling over, it may continue the push of crypto. So basically, I want everything to kind of be in some type of support or some type of extreme of some kind when you're trying to grab it. So, but yeah, so I'm pretty much just going to say pretty much the same as yesterday. With a little bit more, we might get a lot of volatility down in here just because there's so many longs. But take a quick look at BSV. Again, I think it's following BTC. If BTC drops down to 55.5, maybe your pickup is probably going to be. Let's take a look at Hawaii. I mean, we could retest this spot right here. Anything below 145. Ultimately, even taking out this low would be a decent spot. Just the very bottom. But BSV is kind of a little bit more difficult to trade because there's not as much volume and it can be jerked around. It doesn't hold levels as well. But I do think we could find a bounce here under 145, assuming we get some type of bounce with BTC down here around 55.5. So we did just barely take out that low, this most recent low. Didn't get any type of acceleration. We just kind of took out that low by probably a few bucks. So hasn't really wanted to go very far. It's just pretty much wanted to go sideways. Yesterday was very boring. Had some orders in, had some alerts in, and checked in on it several times, but nothing to do. So hopefully we don't get that same type of action today. But anyways, same as yesterday pretty much. Keep an eye, make sure the S&P 500 is in some type of support level if you're trying to buy the dip. And that is it.